Welcome to my studio. So today I'm working in this mid-sized journal, and I started off with gessoing my pages. So it's all dried, and I'm kind of pulling out some supplies. I'm going to be working with the unicorn spit stain and glaze. And all these leftover letter stickers. And I am calling this the "Oh, come on" piece. And I'll tell you why. It took me over an hour and 45 minutes to do this. That is excluding, I mean, that's how much video I have, but I excluded most of my drying times and sped this up. So you'll notice that it's really sped up to get it to be under 20 minutes. But this took a long time, and I decided to go ahead and share it with you because I felt I wasn't really pleased with this one. And there's parts of it I was pleased with and parts that I wasn't. And I'll talk about those as we move along through this. But I thought it would be good to share something that wasn't necessarily your favorite or you struggled with. And I definitely struggled with this one. So I'm going to share that struggle with you. So basically, I used gel matte medium to get these to stick. A lot of these are old. These are kind of like vinylish. So I used the gel matte medium to put everything down. And these little stickers were quite the challenge. First of all, they're very small, and I got big fingers, and that was a challenge right there. And then second of all, they had all the little tiny center pieces that needed to be popped out. I found over time that if I just pushed the letter onto my finger, the inside part would stick. But then I had all these tiny little pieces everywhere. So I'm just putting down lots and lots of layers of these letters. So now I'm putting gel matte medium over the top of the small ones to keep them all down. And once I get that done, now I'm going to be putting down some gesso because I need to prep my surface, or the surface of these letters, because especially those large black ones, I wasn't sure if anything would actually stick to those, since they were kind of a vinyl. So I'll get that all dried up, and then we're going to go right into the unicorn spit. Now these are a glaze or a stain. They can be used on paper, wood, um, and um, I wasn't quite sure how they were going to react being on a gessoed surface. They like to react similar to watercolor and absorb into the paper. So I wasn't really sure how much would actually come up. And on this pink that I'm laying down, I should have just stayed like it is right there and not add any more pink. So that's the first thing that I didn't follow. So I'm laying down this turquoise, and I wasn't thrilled with these blobs of pink being everywhere, but I liked the idea of having the large letters and where they were in these areas being different than the other areas. And so I was overlapping that a little bit, trying to get a mixture of the color, but the pink was already pretty dry, so I didn't really get any purple coming out from me overlapping it a little bit, but so that was my first dilemma. Okay, so that was my second dilemma. First dilemma was all the stickers. Like, really? Although that part was worth it in the end, I did get some beautiful texture. So, and then I decided to go over that with some matte medium fluid, matte medium. And what I liked about it was it really punched the color up on the unicorn spit. So I did enjoy that, and you'll see here I do it on the teal as well, and it really popped it out a little bit more. So I laid that down, let that dry. And then I decided I wanted that texture to really come out. So I decided to do a glaze, and that was with burnt umber. So here I'm mixing my glazing medium and my burnt umber, and have lots and lots of baby wipes. I was a little nervous that I was going to end up wiping up the unicorn spit since it really is a stain. Um, and but I thought, well, I did put the matte medium fluid over it. Maybe I won't lose much of that color. So with the glaze, you let it sit usually for a minute or two, unless you're in a real humid area. But as you can see, I pretty much lost my teal. Well, it looks like I've lost more than I really have. Um, and you'll see as I put it into the other side, as it dried, some of it came kind of back up, so that was good. So that really brought out the letters and their textures, which I did like. And then I'm just going to go over the edges and darken those up a little bit with the leftover burnt umber and glaze mix. But I'm still struggling with how these blobs are just there of the large letters. So then I thought I'll go in with some more of the pink. And I really wish I wouldn't have done this because they stood out so much better when I didn't go in with more of the pink. And a couple of options would have been I could have dry brushed gesso over them and pop them out a little bit more. I could have done another glaze over them, possibly with the teal, do a teal glaze. Um, I did go back in here, you see, with the teal, but I'm only going into areas. I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm just going into areas to let that pop a little bit more. So then I thought, okay, I will go in with some of the Finnabair wax, and I did this in Indian pink. I didn't end up using the Mystic Turquoise, and I thought, well, I'll give them a little metallic sheen, and maybe that will help. That didn't do it. I mean, it looks cool and stuff, but it really didn't help with the situation. It kind of accentuated the blobs of color. They don't mesh well with the background, I think is what I'm struggling with here. They look like they're just free-floating amoebas on the page. Free-floating letter amoebas, floating through a sea of small letters. So then I decided, okay, I'm done. So I got the baby wipe that I used to clean up from the unicorn spit, and decided I was going to put my words on that. So I'm kind of piecing it apart. And I think I pulled out a kid's book, an old vintage kid's book, and yeah, to find something. And a lot through this thing, I was going, oh, come on, this is just not working out. And I struggled so much. And then here were these words. Come on. I went with it. And so I'm layering those up. And I'm going to use some fluid matte medium. Oh, first I'm going to use some of the wax around them to help make blend them in a little bit, edge them, and then I'm using my flat matte medium to glue them down. So I get these laid down and glued in, and I think it's done. And I walk away from it for a day, and I just leave it sitting on my table, and it's bothering me. It's just bothering me. I've got to bring it all together somehow, and wasn't quite sure how I was going to do that. Oh yeah, I forgot I tried this. I tried to go around these letters with my white Jelly Roll pen and to make them pop out a little bit more, and I didn't like that either. So chalk this one up as a tried and failed. I mean, I had a lot of fun, except for the laying down of those stickers. I love how it looked, that part, but it was a lot of work getting those laid down. So this is when I forgot I did this too. Okay, so I did dry brush with my finger some gesso over the teal letters to help them pop out, and I did like that. Why didn't I go over the pink ones? I guess I can still go over the pink ones now. But I did do that, and I liked how that helped bring out that background even more. Dry brushing works so nicely too. So I did that all over the teal letters. Should have done it over the pink ones. And I think it was at this point that I walked away and left it on my art table overnight. Yeah. So came back the next day. Like, what am I gonna do? So I decided to go in and do some drips with my Liquitex acrylic ink. I watered it down, but then I ended up going in and using it full strength and got some drips going down. And that, I was a little worried because I put the wax down and I wasn't sure that that was going to adhere to the waxed letters, because once you put, you don't usually use anything over wax, because, you know, oil and water don't mix. And acrylics are water based and the wax is oil based. So wasn't quite sure if that was going to work, but I was really willing to take that risk. So I did some drippage and it did help, I have to say. It really did help. But it still wasn't pleased with the blobs of pink areas and those letters. I really liked how those black letters had looked, and I guess I was just disappointed that I wasn't able to pull that off. So this is how I ended it. And my, oh, come on, really did net me some gorgeous texture. So here's all the gorgeous texture. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications of new videos being posted, go ahead and click on the bell.